And welcome back to part 5 of What If Goku Progressed Like Frieza. So last time on the Dragon Ball Z What If, King Cold had arrived. Now someone actually brought up, is like, I'm pretty confident King Cold doesn't have transformations. Yeah, I'm pretty certain King Cold has transformations. Frieza does, we know Frost does. Frost, by all accounts, isn't really a prodigy compared to Frieza. Frieza's a prodigy because he has a mutation. Frost, not so much, as far as we know. But Frost is the same species of Frieza, just a different universe. So it seems evident that all of Frieza's races do have transformative states. It's just that comparatively they're not as strong as what Frieza's is, because he actually does have a mutation along with, like, say, his dad and his non-canon brother that allows him to be much more powerful than the rest of his kind. We've actually never really seen, outside of, again, Cooler, who's not canon, Frost, Cold Frieza, and in the non-canon Bardock special, I think it's like a half-hour special, Lord Chill, who I think is the grandfather of Frieza. We've never actually seen, like, the planet of Frieza's race. How many of them are there? Or, like, how powerful are they overall? Never seen that. Or if there's, like, female versions of them or not. Or are they just, like, amoebas? They divide and conquer, basically. Apt comparison for this kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, he defeated the dastardly King Cold. Trunks came and was deeply confused, but said, all right, the androids are coming. Okay, I'll train. Goku gained Super Saiyan. And now we're back to the present day, or present situation, where them going to find the androids. Now, they go to, I can't remember, was it South City, West City, whatever. The island where the androids show up, that whole scenario goes down the same. They go to the wastelands, and Goku's like, okay, starting to get a little warm in the chest area here. Buddy, you think you're so tough, huh? Well, try this. Powers up the Super Saiyan. Now, the question is, we know that the androids in this timeline were stronger than the androids in Trunks' timeline. And these androids have been built to take on Goku, who in this version grew leaps and bounds in strength very, very quickly. To the point where, yes, they're going to be much stronger than what we see them in the original series, 18 and 17 especially. But there's no way to keep up with Goku in this version. Not in the sense of scaling your power accordingly, because there's no way to appropriately scale that kind of power. If it's exponential growth, there's no mathematical formula that will really give you a set amount of growth. And I don't even think Gero has that kind of tech to make them that powerful. The most powerful being he was able to make, to the best of our knowledge, taking GT out of the equation, and even that was with help of someone else, was Cell. And that's only because you were combining the efforts of everything else you made, 17 and 18, into a bioorganic life form. And you were doing a lot of cop-out shit, like regenerative capability, stealing techniques and whatnot. So, so these guys are going to be much stronger, but Goku still, honestly, especially when going into Super Saiyan, because at this point now, there'd be no one save the gods who could take on Goku. Goku manhandles 19 pretty hand. Even Kamehameha, he in 19 absorbing the energy, he's like, oh man, that's too much. He's even at like maybe a tenth of his power in base form, he still completely manhandles any of the androids at this point. And that's adding Super Saiyan. That's without adding Super Saiyan on. Adding Super Saiyan on, he just quickly disappears, reappears, and just takes off, or just punches 19 through the gut. As you can tell, he's powering down hard, or he's losing it quick. But he just punches through 19. He's like, I will take all of your energy. And he just Goku blasts his arms like, he's got a hole in his stomach now. Both of his arms mentioned. Goku, though, is just, that's okay. It's okay. Guys, I need to lie down for a minute. So he's kind of just flat out almost done. They basically got to get him going. 19, though, Piccolo takes care of 19 as he comes, as it is. And now Gero's just like, damn it all. Goku's just like, you have one chance android, leave and never come back. Tell your boss, tell Jiro that where we're coming from. You, you think this is over, don't you, Goku? But it's not. I will have my revenge. You'll have revenge? Oh, God! So we gotta get Goku out of here. And 20, Jiro, does actually do the smart thing to retreat. Now, to be fair, Jiro probably could have taken on the remaining of the group, which does not include Raditz or Vegeta, because they pretty much hightailed it at this point. They have no reason to actually be there right now. But fortunately, Trunks does show up, meets them halfway. He's like, "Wait, guys, I came back to help you. What's going on?" It's like, Goku, he forgot to take his medicine. We need to get him back to the house where the medicine is. Oh man, I'll take him. What about the androids? Didn't you encounter the device? Yeah, Goku was able to take one out, but the old guy ran away. Well, all right, we gotta wait. What? Yeah, the old guy. Going back and forth from my abridged and Krillin voice, a normal serious voice. Yeah, the old guy. The old guy got away, but he blew up the fat one. Wait, fat one? What are you talking? What do you mean? What do you mean? The two androids, the old man and the fat clown guy. Oh crap, baskets! So they get him back. They hit Goku's meds, and Goku's resting. And then you just hear a what? What do you mean that those aren't the androids? Yeah, the androids in my timeline. Look, the thing. Didn't they have like a photo of the androids or something over there? Couldn't he have shown them what the androids look like? Was it that hard to get a picture? I bet 17 and 18 honestly would have posed for the damn thing before killing the photographer. Like, seriously. Anyway, but yes, he has I was able to snag a photo for you. What? And they even say, why didn't you give that to us from the beginning? Oh, never mind. And so they're like, Daddy, are you okay? I'll be fine. So Goku, how dare you not be able to take your medicine? Now Chi-Chi, he shouldn't really, I don't know why Roshi's here, he just is. She really said, you shut up, old man! I want a divorce. No, obviously that's not going to happen. I can make up a scenario where it happens. Truth be told, I don't get, again, Saiyans attracted to strong women. But Chi-Chi, man, Kishimoto really did a number with that character's development, or lack thereof. Anyway, so Goku is like, okay, I guess we're going to have to go to the bottom. Meanwhile, back at the plot, Jerome has gone all through the paces of basically activating 17 and 20. And Jerome right now is perfectly fine. He's not missing an arm, not missing the hat for his brain. No, Jerome is fine. He's at 100% fighting capacity, but Jerome is also far weaker, frankly, than 17 and 18 to begin with. Not to mention 16, which, oh boy, we'll get to 16. Just because of how strong he would theoretically be, because Cell in this timeline should also be much stronger as well. So, because 16 is, give me 1 second, yawning. I apologize for that. Because 16 is much stronger. Because 16 is the same power level as Cell was when he went to absorb 17. He even says that my power and his are the same. That's what he said. So, but that was that timeline Cell. Not the same timeline as this Cell. And we don't know exactly how much stronger 16 would be comparatively, but he's probably stronger than Cell. At least that version of Cell. But regardless, we're not there yet. So he activates them, they kill him, then they wake up 16, then they go on a road trip to get Goku, kill Goku. And, basically, if those aren't the answers, that means they must still be around. We're not safe here, guys. We gotta get Goku out of here. What do you mean, gotta get Goku out of here? Because if none of us can stand up to these androids, if we can't stand up to these androids, my father's not here, then what do you mean you're dead? You just, if others aren't here to help, Goku's just not capable of fighting at the moment. We gotta get him out of here. And so they get him out of there, get him to Roshi's Island. Piccolo goes to fuse with Kami because that still happens. He isn't as strong in this version because he doesn't have Nail fused with him. Therefore, he has definitely been kind of unfortunately he's been nerfed a bit as a character in this one, Piccolo, but he's still very powerful. Like he's still probably the second strongest, maybe third strongest individual on the planet, thanks to the fact that Trunks is there at the moment. So they're waiting, and they hear about the time capsule. Gohan, and I do think it is Gohan and Trunks who go there because he talks about a relationship with Gohan, things along those lines. Gohan's still pretty weak. Comparatively, he's still maybe in around his Namekian power level. But again, let's also be clear. He does still progress like Goku because it's kind of a genetic thing. So that's not to say we might not see Gohan get stronger in the future. I'm just saying, and people still get... I'm always going to get comments about this, but it remains true. Because of the way I do a what if, and I always have to repeat this every now and then, every couple of videos, I feel like I need to repeat it. The way I do, maybe I should do a video at some point of how I do a what if. I said who would win, but how I do a what if. How I do a what if is I take the scenario and figure out what alterations from the previous timeline happened because, or the original timeline happened because of that alteration. But I'm not going to just have something happen for the sake of it happening. Very rarely. Once in a while, if just to fill in something, I'll do it. But most of the time, it has to make sense to what happens. So if Gohan isn't taken by Piccolo for training, there's no legitimate reason, apart from you wanting him to be a Z fighter, that Gohan would be a fighter at that point. Now, that's not to say it can't happen down the road. It's just not as likely to happen. And in this case, that's still it. That said, though, Gohan isn't completely nerfed either because he has been allowed to train with Goku now and then, and he has inherited that increase of potential. So a lot of just working around. Piccolo confronts Cell, who I do think Piccolo probably can face down Cell all right. He's not as strong as Cell, but he can still face him okay. And if anything, he maybe while going to, like I say, obviously Trunks and Gohan met up with him. He hightails it out of there. They're looking for him. Now, the androids do eventually show up at the house. Piccolo says, we're going to go over here and fight. And he does get a lucky shot. He does get that first shot in on 17, which does surprise 17. However, that's unfortunately where the advantage ends because Piccolo isn't as strong as 17. In fact, 17 is even stronger in this version than he is in the canon version. And him and Piccolo are said by 16 in the canon version to be equal in power. But 17 had kind of an infinite engine, which allowed him to have infinite stamina in many ways. Which is why Piccolo tired out, and 17 didn't quite tire out the same way. Piccolo in this version isn't as strong, and 17 is even stronger. He still puts up a good fight, though. Cell does show up, though. Eventually does absorb 17 after beating the crap out of Piccolo, and 16. Piccolo, I think, does, again, barely survive. But Goku eventually wakes up and hightails it over there. It's like, Piccolo! And then just, poof, powers up the Super Saiyan and just, Goku. And let's be clear, too. Cell is stronger in this version, even though it is still the same Cell from the original series. Because he absorbed a stronger 17, he is stronger than what he was previously. So let's use a hypothetical number here. A lot of people like to say semi-perfect Cell is around 1 billion. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I like the idea of it, but a lot of people kind of just get these ideas of what power levels are. But let's just hypothetically say that semi-perfect Cell was 1 billion. This would put him probably like at 1.5 billion, which means if perfect Cell suppressed was a 2 billion, perfect Cell suppressed would theoretically be maybe a 3 billion. And then, and then its full power would be about the same as Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's, in theory. But the problem is Goku now is pissed, comes back better than ever because of the heart virus. He survived I guess, I would imagine you actually do get a Zenkai from that. So he's got a Zenkai from that. Then he powers up the Super Saiyan, which again, power-wise, I can't even begin to calculate that. I mean, in theory, I could do it for fun, but it just would be, like, the numbers would just go in your head. And that's not even wondering where the gods' power levels actually are. So, he faces down Cell and just proceeds to wreck the shit out of, just beats him up, takes an anger at him, and then just obliterates Semi-Perfect Cell. Now, they'll use the Dragon Balls to bring back the people Cell killed. That would include 17. Or they just use, well, actually, they can't use Dragon Balls initially, but they do, eventually work it out with King Kai, who Goku's never met, but they do, because they need a new Guardian. That's the big thing. They need a new Guardian of the Earth. And I think they do work it out eventually to reach Namek. Be it either with King Kai's help, who reintroduces himself, or with maybe the help of Piccolo or someone else. I think, or Popo, actually. And they use maybe a ship to go to New Namek. And I think because of their intentions, they'd be able to get through the wish barrier made by Nail. And using the Dragon Balls, they wished back people that were lost. But then they say they need a new Guardian. The Dragon Balls, they get Dende, who offers himself, because they, everything and stuff like that. They don't really have a relationship with New Namek, but still, it's kind of the Namekians are pretty peaceful, so yeah, it all works out. Which now begs many, many questions. A, what happens to the androids? 16's still around, 18 and 17 are still around as well. They've all now seen Goku's power, and they know that they don't stand a ghost of a freaking chance against him. So it's like, so what happens? So they're like, so what happens now? That all depends on you. You still want to try to kill me? Well, given the circumstance, yeah, I wouldn't really want to try to kill me either right now. Yeah, but look, you haven't, as far as I know, you actually haven't killed anyone, have you? No, I don't think we have. So then, you really haven't done anything wrong, and you're like, look, you want to live lives, you can. There's nothing to say you can't. Now Jiro and Cell and all of them are gone. And yeah, when you break it down, that's what they can do. He's got a point, I suppose. While I have wanted to kill you, son Goku, I have grown happy with simplicity, with the birds and the trees, the bees, but mostly the birds. And yeah, Bulma removes the bombs from them, and it all works out ultimately well. So you basically get a nice happy ending before there's no Cell games. So what's going on 7 years later? Because there's no reason for Vegeta and Raditz to really show up. They're ruling an empire now. They got the empire. Now, I will say, Vegeta and Raditz both at this point have long since hit Super Saiyan, with enough training Vegeta even hit Super Saiyan 2. I think Raditz has more of an Ascended Saiyan form, like Ultra Saiyan, if you will. Not like the super buff form, but the Ascended Saiyan form. Or a perfected Super Saiyan at any rate. And Vegeta's got Super Saiyan 2. Goku probably has hit Super Saiyan 3 at this point. Easily. Just because of progression. Now remember, the God, it's not about how much you train, how strong you get for the God Ki. It's about the type of training you're doing. And Goku wouldn't know how to do that type of training. So Super Saiyan God just immediately hitting it, that's not going to happen. But training for many years, for 7 freaking years. At this point now, he would be an individual who can challenge Beerus. Easily he can challenge Beerus. He'd be the Jiren of his universe. If anything, he's kind of already the Jiren of his universe. Well, not quite, because the Jiren isn't challenged by pretty much anyone in his universe. We know he's even stronger than his God of Destruction. We just don't know how strong Belmont is. So it's very possible his God could give him a legitimate fight. And that the angel in his universe is probably stronger too. Sorry, just foot felt weird for a second. No, just a sore. Or not a sore, but just a little sore. Yeah, so Goku's kind of turning into the Jiren of his universe in this scenario, with all of his Super Saiyan forms -4. Now, Gohan, I think, does get the train again. It's like with anything else. He gets to train on and off with his dad. And it's nice. And Goten gets born too, and he trains with his dad probably more often than Gohan does. And he also has that mutation. So this is odd. This results in a scenario where Goten at about 6, 7 years old, is far stronger than his big brother because he gets to train more often with Goku than Gohan does. With that being said, Gohan probably learned Super Saiyan at one point as well. Gohan's power, I'm trying to think of the best way to indicate a multiplier here. Because he's a hybrid, he has already more potential. That's always been said, actually, that hybrids seem to have more potential than pure-blood Saiyans. But because he also has the mutation for the enhanced potential, it really increases both their chances, both their abilities of getting more powerful. So, where would I put Gohan? Assuming that I left him off at the Namek Saga power level around 200,000. In terms of a multiplier, adding a Super Saiyan, not even including the Super Saiyan I give him, plus with Goten, assuming to kind of figure out a multiplier, it all has to it all relies on, say, how often Gohan gets to train with Goku. He clearly gets to do it enough. Let's say he gets to do it on weekends. That makes sense because Chi-Chi wants him to study, all that. That's kind of a Monday to Friday thing. That's when school, on average, would be. So the weekends, Gohan gets to train with his dad a little bit. Maybe even spend a whole day training or something like that. So if we go with that ideology, there's about 56 weeks in a year, if I'm not mistaken, which means you times 56 by 2. That's basically 112 days a year he's training with his dad on some level. Then you multiply that by 7. You're looking at about 84. So 784 days he's gets to train, which translates roughly speaking to about almost about a little over 2 years worth of training Gohan gets. So if we can probably go with kind of like what we did initially with Goku, something around like the 10,000 times multiplier on that, which it's really, that means I just add it's 4 zeros onto 200,000. And I get about 2 billion, if I'm not mistaken on that. Yeah, about 2 billion. And then you add Super Saiyan, and there you go. Goten, though, gets to train with his dad more often because he's even younger and was not being raised as a scholar like Gohan was, which probably puts him somewhere about maybe 3 or 4 times stronger than his brother initially. But ultimately, they're still living out their days. Gohan goes to school, all that great stuff, and then the tournament comes. Now, I'm sure other tournaments exist there. Hercule's still the champion, but Goku's just kind of stayed out of it because even he's aware now that there isn't many people. There aren't really any. There is not anyone around who can challenge him, unfortunately, and it is kind of unfortunate. But he never stops training because he still wants to improve his limits and stuff like that. So Goku, or surpasses limits, things along those lines. So Goku, he's still chilling or hanging around, but honestly, it's Gohan and everyone else who participates in the tournament. Goku actually surprisingly just sits back and watches to appreciate the actual sport itself. And Shin's like, "You are Goku, right?" I am. I'm surprised that you wouldn't be participating in this, a former champion yourself. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, these days there's not many people who can really, compete at my level. That wouldn't be fair to them, and it's not much fun for me. So I think I'm gonna sit this one out. This time around. Maybe another time. Maybe someone will come who can challenge me. But for now, I think I'm good. You're a very interesting and wise man, Goku. I look forward to talking to you again. So most of those matches go down exactly the same, and then Vidal gets crap kicked out of her by Spopovich. Goku keeps his son in check. Gohan goes and just has his energy stolen by Spopovich and Yamu, and then they go and follow him. There's no Vegeta, it's Piccolo, Gohan, Goku. Also, there's no Trunks, so Goten does win the kids' tournament. Pardon. Ooh. Excuse me for that. So Goten actually joins along too, because now, things are going down. 18 year old still got married. I think 17. Yeah, 17 we know was still actually around. But he was he didn't show up. He was doing his thing and rangering the shit out of that park. But yeah, they rush over to Babidi's ship, but they feel the power and it's like, "You're too late, Supreme Kai. It's a little Boo has awakened. Boo, boo." Remember, Gohan's energy would have been about 100 billion, give or take, which frankly I think is well beyond anything we actually get in canon. Power-wise, like Gohan's energy, I've heard some people clarify where like if you've ever watched Totally Not Mark, he did a really good power level video, and I really like those. But I know there's people who argue that crap all the time. It's like that's not what it is. It's way beyond that. But Gohan's power is. I've always assumed Gohan's power is somewhere around, at least in terms of the Buu arc, when he had Super Saiyan 2, right around like 3.5 million. And the reason I say that is this, is that the Bora actually does have an official power level rating of about 4 something, it's like 4,000 killies or something like that. But his power level is actually stated to be the same as Perfect Cells, whatever that is. And Goku is stated to be about 6 killie, which is at Super Saiyan 2. No, it's 3,000 killie when he had Super Saiyan, which means Super Saiyan 2 would be 6 killie. So that actually, and they say that Goku at Super Saiyan 2 was stronger than Gohan at Super Saiyan 2 back when he fought Cell. So if you actually think about that, that means a killie, roughly speaking, translates to 1 billion. So Dabura being 4 billion would make sense against Gohan's 3.5 billion, because Gohan had gotten weaker at that point, and Goku had gotten stronger at that point. So Cells was about 4. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan was about 5. I want to say. That's why he was able to manhandle him so easy. It was about 3, then went to 4. And the only reason Cell at that point was able to, put so much pressure on him with the Kamehameha was because of Gohan being injured at that point. So yes, that's why I put Gohan usually like a 3.5, which means, and Gohan's power, we assume they hadn't absorbed anyone else, taken anyone else's energy at that point. Gohan's power was about half of what Buu's was. So Buu usually put around 7 billion, give or take. But yeah, so not only did he completely fill up the energy thing for Buu, it actually broke, and Buu got a bit of an extra boost. So Buu, which is where we're going to leave it for right now. Majin Buu, for the first time in a long time, one of these has been awakened. What happens there? We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z, which is actually going to be tomorrow. So next time we'll find out tomorrow. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I got one more what if to do, and this is a new one I'm doing. So you Naruto fans are going to be happy. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.